into life-changing money pretty fast. Did you make any mistakes? I know a lot of the young players just go crazy. They blow all their money.
I didn't make any mistakes that you would think of normally, like blowing a lot of money or anything like that. The only major mistakes that I'd say I made was getting into the habit of lending people money, like $5K here, $10K there, and now I've kind of learned that that's not a winning proposition.
No.
So that's the one like downfall, I guess you could say, that I had. But as far as spending my money and everything, I put a pretty big effort into. Immediately I went and hired like a really good lawyer, really good accountant, really good financial advisor. Those were the three things that I knew I needed right away. And then I put most of my money in investments and long-term stuff. And then every time I want to take on a new endeavor, like right now I'm starting to do some trading in the stock market.
Oh, nice.
Then I take out a small portion and fool around with that. If I do well with it, great. If I don't, then it's just an endeavor gone bad. So
right. I can't see you buying extravagant cars and houses and boats and all that
I got
stuff,
a Subaru STI, which
I like those.
Yeah, you think of a Subaru, it's not really that great, but this car is really cool.
No, I think I saw a picture of it on your website, actually.
Yeah.
That's good. In 2007, in the span of only a few months, 12th place at the Aussie Millions main event, 4th place at the LAPC main event, and 1st place in the NBC National Heads Up. What was going so right at that time?
I think right before then I was on, a really big downswing, not monetarily, but just emotionally. I didn't cash in a tournament for 6 months since the WSOP, and basically I was just kind of having thoughts of, well, I don't know if I'll ever do anything like that great, and that's not the right mindset. And so finally there was a little $50 tournament that turned things around for me online. I ended up getting 5th for $1,000 or something, and more than the money, it was just the feeling of winning again and getting my confidence back and the momentum. And then Aussie Millions was right after that, and it's funny because my friends and I always joke about how the quickie guarantee is so horrible, and whenever I guarantee anything, it usually is guaranteed the opposite. But so when we were walking to the tournament, we were at the Aussie Millions, that is, I was like, sure, I'm going to guarantee you that I'm going to make it through the day. And they're like, oh, great. But I ended up doing pretty well, and it's really easy to go on an upward spiral or downward spiral poker. Just the psychological aspect of the game is just so crucial, and so once you get one tournament or one score under your belt, then it just gives you that much more confidence for the next. And so LAPC was my next tournament, and ended up doing really well in that. And then NBC, I was a little worried that I didn't have enough time to prepare, but ended up I think that had it been a continual tournament, I wouldn't have done nearly as well. But the fact that I only played 1 match that first day, and then 2 the next day, and then 3 the last day, it was really helpful. Yeah.
What do you mean by prepare?
I do a lot of preparation in before a tournament. I do a lot of player scouting. When I find out what my table draw is,
right.
And just mentally run through how my day is going to go, and there's a lot of stuff. I stretch beforehand, and I do just a lot of stuff to whatever I can do to basically make it so that I play the best poker I can.
Maybe that's your secret. That's why you do so well. I've never heard anyone else say they prepare like you do, though.
It's something that I'm trying to work harder at, actually. Because for a while I was just showing up to the tournament and just playing, and I really didn't even though I felt like I was still in a positive EV situation, I didn't feel like I was preparing as best as I could.
You're always adapting and altering your playing style to adjust to the trends of the games. You know that. What's one of the most recent changes you've made, if any?
I was playing, with a friend, what I call a joint session, where we are just sitting at the same computer and I'm watching him play, and putting in my advice, and we split profit and loss. And I kind of took away what you get from that is different perspective on playing hands differently. And so normally when I'm like, oh, we should go all in here, and he's like, no, let's just check and we'll induce a bluffer, whatever. So, I've been playing a lot with, a couple different friends and gaining new perspective, and that always helps to give what I like to call a makeover to my game, and basically just adds a new, elements to the game that I have a new tool in my arsenal, so now, if a certain situation presents itself, I can play, hands a completely different way than, what I'm used to. because it's so easy to fall into a pattern of just this is what's profitable, this is how I play, and to have like different styles that you can go put yourself into like in the drop of a hat is really important.
And don't you feel like it's important to change your style, especially when everyone sees you play on TV so often?
Yeah, definitely. It's really hard to get an idea of how someone plays just by watching them on TV, because you only see like a few hands. You don't really know the circumstances surrounding the situation, so you might not know like why he chose to bluff there, or why the fold he made that fold or whatever. But definitely people get perceptions, whether they're right or wrong, about how you play, and it's important to know those perceptions and know how to use them to your advantage.
Or even playing online. I remember Daniel Negreanu saying he had to change his play a little from playing online so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Because those guys catch on.
That's probably more where I see it, the online play, because you see so many more hands, and there's so many more tracking systems, and different things that can keep statistics on how often you raise and how often you bluff, stuff like that. So it's really, really important to change up your game like really frequently online, because if you fall into a pattern, any good player online is going to recognize that and take advantage of that.
All right, you wrote a blog in early February titled "What It Takes," in which you describe your struggles to stay motivated, mostly in poker. Talk to me about that blog.
That blog came about kind of what I was talking about before, when I kind of realized that I was just kind of coasting and not really giving it my all in each tournament. And basically I would show up, usually wake up like 15 minutes before the tournament and then go down and play. And, not to say that I don't think that I was playing good poker, but I think that I could have prepared myself better so that I could have even played better. Just talking with a friend about this last night, is like sometimes, say you're the chip leader and you've got 100,000 and things are going great and you think that you're doing really well. Well, maybe you should have had 150,000. You should always be second guessing like how you're playing hands and making sure that you're extracting the most value. And that's kind of what the blog's intention was coming to the realization that maybe I was playing good poker, but it wasn't good enough type thing, and I need to do a better job of preparing. Well,
it's great you realize that. Most people do roll in 15 minutes before the tournament, and that's normal for most of these guys.
It's really easy to do. Fall into that pattern, and it's just. I really do feel like whoever prepares the best is going to give themselves the best shot at going deep. So.
You seem to be all right with talking kind of personal in your blog. Why so open?
Well, I started blogging before I had any poker success, and so a lot of times I kind of forget just who's reading it. I sometimes tailor my blogs to just my family and friends, and in fact, that blog I was debating whether I wanted to put it up because it was